Hello and welcome back to Taking Back Saturday, a Happy Buyers Club podcast where we break down the real estate market each and every Friday to help home buyers build confidence, follow a process and hopefully buy really happy. I'm your host, Chase Jones, and joining me today is a very, very special guest. He has appeared on somewhere between 70 to 80 of these podcasts across the last 2 years. It's my mate, Sam Hunter. How are you, mate?
I'm feeling more special today than most days. I'm a hot, sweaty mess. We've just had a reasonably enjoyable lunch. And here we are recording a podcast at 2:42 p.m. instead of the usual 7:42 a.m. And it's a different level of energy in this room right now.
This is completely fabricated right now, this energy that we're putting on right here. If you've had Chargrilled Charlie's at midday and been served, a mountain of food and finished it, this is not premium podcasting.
Shout out to Chargrilled Charlie's. That place lives up to the hype.
Yeah, nice.
It really does.
Speaking of living up to the hype, or maybe lack thereof, I think a lot of people that listen to this show or follow us on Instagram maybe assume that because we're buyers agents, we're in this every single day, and for the most part, I think people hold us in relatively okay regard, that we might be immune to really shitty real estate practices. But, like we've often said, this show can be like real estate therapy. And today it's going to resemble as much. And we're going to tell a couple of stories that are fresh in the memory for both of us across the last month, probably fresh in the memory for some of our clients who thankfully, I think 2 of these 3 stories we're going to tell, these guys have gone on to buy great properties. But
this all stems from every Saturday we put a poll out on Instagram and it says, what happened to you in your real estate world this week? Did you buy a house? Did you miss out? Did you see anything you liked? Or does real estate still suck? And by far and away, the biggest response every week, admittedly, a lot of it's from real estate agents, and I do think that it sucks out there for them just as much as it does for buyers and sellers sometimes. But the biggest answer is always real estate sucks. And that has become almost the unofficial tagline of our business. And actually, we're leaning into it. And like the conversation today is for 2 types of listener, right? It's for buyers out there who've had a tough time and just want to feel like you're not alone because you're not.
We're with you.
And it's for good and bad real estate agents, for people who need to smarten up a little bit and maybe think about some of the ways that they are dealing with what is a pretty stressful, highly emotional time for a lot of people. Or it's for the good guys, just be like, sweet.
I'm not doing that.
I don't do that. Yeah. How good. All right. Well, I'm on the right track.
If you have been in the market and you've been trying to buy it for the last 4 weeks or the last 12 months, there's every chance that if you've got to the pointy end on a particular property, and this is what we're talking about, this is when you identify something that feels like the one or, are pretty close to the right one, well, you've got some emotion attached to it. It's like, okay, wow, it's all going to get really real now. I'm going to go through the process of trying to secure this property. And if you've experienced one of these scenarios, man, this is as sucky as real estate sucking gets.
For sure. And I would think that if you have been looking for definitely the last 4 weeks, but even longer than that, you would have missed out at one point of time by choice, or it's just blown out of the water, whatever it might be. And the first time it happens, it feels like a breakup. Almost. And we always say on the show that there is always another one, and there is. And if you've just been broken up with someone, there's always somebody else out there for you as well. I promise you that. But it shouldn't feel as bad as it does for some people. And you shouldn't have an experience where you feel like someone was actively working against you, I think. And unfortunately, people do go through that every week. So we're going to talk about a few of them, and just to let you know that it is. Maybe it'll be less surprising if it happens to you, but also we'll try and throw in a few ways in which you can work towards avoiding it, so that when the right one does come along, ideally it's with the right agent, it's the right process, and you end up with the right house.
Nice one. Cool. I'm going to kick things off. This was a property that I went and saw with clients. It was on a very short window. So we had some pretty clear expectations of what the campaign was going to look like. Listed on a Thursday, first inspections on the Friday. They were having a Friday, Saturday, Sunday inspection, short and sharp. Then into Tuesday afternoon, best and finals, presenting to older sellers on the Wednesday, expected decision Thursday morning. Cool. We go on the Friday, we go on the Saturday. Great. This is the one for us. Let's position ourselves ready to go come Tuesday afternoon. We, put our heads together. We strategize. We work in with the agent. We gather as much information as we can, and we put forward what we believe come Tuesday afternoon is a very, very competitive offer. Now, a little sidebar on this. The guide that was given by the agent for where we offered was $200,000 difference. So yeah, you'd better hope that we were putting forward a competitive offer. Clearly, maybe just wasn't familiar with the area. Maybe it just was, I don't know, a little bit of baiting. I don't know what the scenario was there, but that's a whole different scenario here because enough people identified that
for sure
value
everyone
was where
clumped.
we were, and therein lied what happens next. Come Thursday morning on cue, I get a call. I'm like, here we go. We're about to find out if we've bought something or if we have not. Chase, we are about to have, you're about to have another opportunity to increase your offer. I was like, are we the only people you're speaking to? No, I'm speaking with everybody that's put forward an offer. We're having a second round of best and finals. It's like the irony is just like echoing in the air. It's like, where's the finality if we're doing it all again?
For sure. It's heats. That was the heats. And you passed the heat. Now you're into the final.
Yeah. And you know what? Nonetheless, it's not on me to kick stones at that point in time. I go back and communicate this to our buyers. Now, they liked it. They saw value up to a certain level. We felt like we offered at that level. This was us going beyond that. And they were happy to do it. The market that we're in, it's hot. We get it. There was 19 offers on this thing. Let's just play the game. And at this point, we were okay with playing the game, and we're going to give that little bit more. The little squeeze just to get us over the top. We increase our offer. When can I expect to hear from you? You'll hear from me within the next 2 hours. Fantastic. I get a call in 2 hours' time, and at this point, I could hear the clogs through the phone because we were in a Dutch auction. And you wouldn't believe it, someone had put in an offer $2,000 more than ours. Would you like to increase your offer? At this point, where does it stop? And I asked the agent this, and his words to me was, when everyone else gives up. So, again, it's not on me to kick stones, but at that point I call our clients and say, hey, it's been a roller coaster morning, but I think now's the time to get off the roller coaster.
There is always another one, and we can buy something better, maybe not cheaper, but certainly more ethically.
So the thing there is that I know, and yes, we completely understand that agents are there to try and get the best possible result for their vendors.
Sure.
And nothing about what happened there was technically illegal. There's a little bit of unethical behaviour in calling things best and finals, doing it again, and then continuing to then Dutch auction their way to a result. There is no way that even the person that bought that property in the end was thrilled with the way that was handled.
100%.
Not only were the potentially 18 people that missed out pretty freaking pissed off, I would imagine who continued to play that game throughout that day, and then your eventual buyer would be like, oh geez, that was fun, wasn't it?
Just creeping up 1,000 by 1,000 by 1,000. They were the only people that kept saying yes. And at what point do you then stop walking away? And he would have kept going even if it was just them, I think.
Yeah.
To just put them up and put them up and put them up.
Someone's come back with another 2,000.
Yeah.
And this is why you might roll your eyes when you hear us talk to agents that are auction agents, or when we talk about, the best possible way to buy a house is when you're one-on-one negotiating with a selling agent or seller. The second best is auction, because it's that, but out in the open. And there's no whispers behind closed doors. There's no potentially made-up offers. It's just transparent. And
there's no shift in the process. You don't have 2, third and final calls.
Yeah. Again, for those guys, the message was, there will be another one. If you find yourself in that position and it is the one for you, and it's still within the realms of where you see value in that property, maybe there still has to be a buyer there, but that is a pretty shitty way in which to buy,
for sure,
in my opinion.
And I think it's the same thing. So different client, 2 properties within 4 days of each other, same real estate agent. One property had been on the market for 6 weeks, it had no offers. We went through, had a look at it, thought, okay, if this is where their expectation is, this is probably where we see value. Let's make a strong offer that we can defend. Within an hour, text message goes out saying, hey, we've received an offer on this property. If you want to buy it, you've got to be above this number. And that number happened to be our offer.
No way.
And I was like, cool. So it's not just like revealing, it's everybody who's ever been through that home has it. And then somebody comes out of the woodwork because they're like, oh, there's an opportunity to buy it way less than what the agent told me it was worth. Absolutely, I'll go have a go at it. I got no problem with agents negotiating. That is their job, right? But shopping an offer is a different story. 3 days later, brand new property, even better than the one that we decided not worth it, thank you, go to it, happens to be with the same agent. And we go, how do we avoid this happening? Again, he's like, won't happen again, put your best foot forward, I know what you're looking for, it's not worth what the other one was anyway, we're in a good spot. Lo and behold, we didn't get the text message this time, but a mate of ours lives 2 doors down and went to the open home and got the same text message. So I went to every single buyer that went through after we made an offer, except us. So we then have the same very difficult conversation. I got to tell you, we're not going to talk about who real estate agents are or anything like this, but at what age do men start shopping at like Male Manor and buy those, single cuff is a different colour to the rest of the shirts? Because if you're that old, stop selling real estate.
Oh, burn!
It was just, and like our clients are people who've been in business a very long time, and they'd look at each other, they'd look at us, and they'd be like, is this
normal?
Yeah, and I would say it isn't.
No.
That's the fundamental reality. There's not an opportunity here to negotiate. We're just being shopped. We'll find something else. And thank God, shout out to, we will name names here, Mitch Smith from Place, because we bought an awesome property of Mitch a week later for, I think it was exactly the same money as we'd offered, but the property itself, extra bedroom, extra bathroom, more land size, and just a wonderful one-to-one experience where both parties gave a bit and ended up with a result where everybody was happy.
Love a good shout out. And this is, maybe this is the subtext of this whole thing. This is a shout out to the 98%
for sure
of agents I'm talking about that are running great processes that are clear, that are met, and that people can feel like, no one feels like they're stealing a property, particularly in the current market, but they at least are being given a fair opportunity in which to buy.
Mate, I agree with you. I'll give you 2 examples and we'll do a good news story and an interesting story to start, right? So first home buyer couples, we bought 2 properties, one in a northwestern part of Brisbane and one in a sort of central northern part of Brisbane. And they were marketed the same way, price by negotiation, best and final offers by a certain date. We bought both, thankfully. One of them, the Instagram post 2 days after, and it was, and I'll stress, price by negotiation, it was sold $151,000 above asking price, this many offers, this many views, how good are we? And I had a conversation with the agent about that there wasn't an asking price and they were guiding anywhere from X to Y, and we ended up being less than the highest comparable that they bought, but we were, at least in our opinion, the best offer, versus the other one that we bought where there was, I think, 26 offers on that property. Just mental, right? And the agent was like, don't worry, I don't spruik sale prices. I get it. Like, nobody likes being in a 26 multiple offer scenario. But I want to make sure that 1, they buy a house they still like, and 2, like the week after they've bought it, they're still happy about it. So I don't need to say, how good am I? Look at what I've done. They get a sold sticker. You guys are happy. The sellers are really happy. We all move on. The difference in how a buyer feels between having an offer accepted and moving into that house, or even telling their friends and family they bought that property, is in how that agent tells that story between those moments. And you can learn something from pumping up the tires to try and win another listing, or you can learn something from respecting what everyone's been through to then win their circle. Because who are those people going to tell who they bought from, the experience and all of that, when they're all doctors and they know people who need to sell houses? Couldn't have been further apart. And I think too many people experience the
tunnel vision.
Record price for a 4-bedroom house on less than 402 square meters of land, and oh my God, I'm so good.
Let me tell you, the only people that like those posts are other real estate agents. There is not a single punter out there in the world that's like, whoa, record price, good on you, Mr. or Mrs. blah, blah. Like, that, you are 100% right. And the way in which whether it be a best and finals, whether it be just a general negotiation, whether it's an auction, whatever, the feeling that not only your eventual buyer, but all your underbidders, or all those people that missed out during that best and finals, the way that they are left feeling after that campaign is going to inadvertently affect you as an agent ongoing. Imagine if you're the agent that's noted as like the one that never called anyone back. I found out by the Suburb Record Instagram post. That's how I found out about the result. Like, I don't know. You and I, we're not selling real estate in 2025, but I think we've got a fair idea of how people feel when they're going through the process. And there's got to be better ways.
I think it all comes down to, aside from an auction, there is no real standard process to go about selling a property. There's not as much transparency as everybody, I think, would like, even from a selling perspective, right? And because of that, there is as little trust that's out there as possible. There's no real empathy. There's not an element of genuine care from a lot of people. And, like, caring for someone is an interesting, like, challenge in itself, right? You meet 50 people that come through an open home. You can't care for them all, but you probably could ring them all, right? And figure out who are the people that are most interested. And then you could potentially start listening to what they want and how they've been going and have they been through this process before, and do they listen to two idiots talking on a podcast about bad experiences just to have therapy for themselves, right? They're not getting the information. All of those things combine get to a point where people are expecting the worst when they go to an open home on Saturday, and that does not lead to a good experience. That does not lead to a good outcome for the majority of people, and it actually stops good agents from being able to help buyers because they're guiding them to where they need to be, and they're giving them this information, and they're like, red flag.
Yeah, they're like,
you're just trying to get more money out of me.
There's an industry that's tarred by the brush because, there's been an emotional buyer who, has entered an unequal playing field against someone that is, potentially professionally, I say potentially, they are professionally trained to leverage that emotion to get, take advantage of it to get the best possible result for their vendors.
Yeah.
I think for everyone that's had a bad experience, for every one bad experience, there is 19 other good experiences out there. Rest assured, you need to come in with fresh eyes every single time. Give the benefit of the doubt to the agent that is trying to help you. There are way more good agents out there than bad ones.
100p.
And there are so many suitable properties out there. If you have found one that you liked and loved and it was potentially going to fall within your budget, there will be another one. Go and find it. He's Sam. I'm Chase. Cue the song.